This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, welcome everyone. We continue in our series on Tefilla, Gateway to Tefilla. I want to go back for a moment to one aspect of Malbish Arumim, and that is Malbish Arumim on Shabbos. And of course, this series is sponsored by our good friend, Rabbi Rose of Los Angeles, Leo Nishmas' brother, Tzvi ben Levi Yitzchak, Neshama Shehaven Aliyah. So, I want to speak about Malbish Arumim specifically for Shabbos. We spoke about the great gift of clothing and appreciating all the details of clothing, the materials that it is made out of, whether it's cotton, whether it's wool, the buttons and the various stitchings. But today I want to speak about Bigdei Shabbos and what type of elevation a person experiences by wearing Bigdei Shabbos, and therefore what an enhanced Kavana one should have when they say Malbish Arumim specifically on Shabbos. The Pri Tzaddik discusses Gemara on Shabbos Kuf Yud Gimel Amud Beis, where Naomi tells Rus, V'sam simloi sayich alayich v'yaradet hagoyren al tivadi iloish. Okay, so she says, put on your clothing. So the Gemara darshans, what does it mean your clothing? Bigdei Shabbos. So Tzaddik HaKohen wants to know, where in the words your clothing is there any implication that it refers to Bigdei Shabbos? It doesn't say v'samt your Bigdei Shabbos, it says your clothing. So he says, why did Naomi have to tell Rus your clothing, as opposed to, Yenta Shvintz's clothing? I mean, put on clothing. Obviously, it's going to be yours. Why does she say your clothing? And the answer is, why would we call clothing your clothing as if it's intrinsically connected to the person? One's clothing are not, they belong to you, but they're not connected to the etzem ha'adam, that they should be called simloi sayich, that they're designated for you and only for you. Why call clothing simloi sayich? Must be, they're my clothing. Like they're designated. Well, what if somebody trips and falls and gets a hole in it, and you get new ones, and not your clothing anymore? Or you can lend it to somebody else. Why refer to clothing as your clothing? But one's Bigdei Shabbos, which is what a person wears, lekavod Shabbos, and not just lekavod Shabbos, to the kavod Shabbos and the sanctity of Shabbos that are in you. You don't just wear Bigdei Shabbos, today's a special day, so I'm going to dress up for the occasion. But Rabbi Tzaddik HaKohen writes, "Aval Bigdei Shabbos shehi masha loivesh lekavod hakedusha the Shabbos shebekir boi." I'm honoring the Shabbos that's in me. B'vadei yishlam shaychus laha'adam haloivesh b'yichud. The Bigdei Shabbos that you wear has a connection to the one who wears the clothing. And to the extent of the sanctity of Shabbos that is in you, to that extent, your clothing are reflecting that Kedusha. In other words, my Bigdei Shabbos are not like your Bigdei Shabbos, because your Shabbos may be on a much higher plane than mine is. And therefore, each person's Bigdei Shabbos is reflective of their personal Shabbos experience. And if Naomi tells Rus, your clothing, put on your clothing, there's no such concept as your clothing unless we're referring to Bigdei Shabbos. And he says like this, just like my Shabbos is not your Shabbos. We have different Shabbosim. Why is that? Doesn't everyone have the same Shabbos? So Rabbi Tzaddik HaKohen says, just like in the world to come, everyone has their own world. It's not like, okay, we're going to the Siyum HaShas, so we're all 100,000 of us are going to freeze together. No.
I'm not freezing.
Some people go to the Barclay. Some people are in their living rooms. Some people are in a press box, in heated rooms, eating, kosher hot dogs. And some people are freezing in the with the bleacher creatures, right? So, some guys have the Go Jets. They don't even know it's a Siyum HaShas. They think it's a jet game. They're a little incredulous why the pregame ceremony is taking a little longer. Last time there was somebody who sat 3 hours waiting for the Giants to start. He didn't understand why a guy with a long beard, he thought he didn't know who what. No, just joking, okay? So, everybody has a different Shabbos, depending on how much you paid for the tickets. In other words, What is Shabbos me'ein olam haba? In olam haba, people have different spots. Some people, they need someone to schlep them in. Some people have a wife that's a big tzaddikus, and they're a oisvarf, and the wife schleps them into olam haba. She says, I have rachmana, so I can't be by myself, so she'll schlep him in. Everybody has a different area they go into. Everyone has some people have better seats than others, better experience than others. And if everyone has a different area in olam haba, everyone has a different Shabbos. And if everyone has a different Shabbos, everyone has their own Bigdei Shabbos. Their Bigdei Shabbos reflect on Shabbos.
Wearing the same clothing on Shabbos.
You mean?
Uniform.
There's no.
It's the jackets, the black.
No, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But this guy has a Borsellino Triumfo, and this guy has an Alexandria, and this guy has 3 ruffles on the band, and this guy has 2.5. You don't know what kind of difference it is. To the untrained eye, it looks like everyone's the same. This guy's Stramo, by the way, has 3.2 centimeters of height on the front here. This guy is more chashav. He has everybody has a different look,
But Begodim by definition is
No, only during the week.
So to accept Shabbos with the Pnimus,
Only the week. Only in the week. Oh, that's only during the week.
That's the beauty of Shabbos. That's the difference.
He says that just like everyone's olam haba is different, Kain b'Shabbos sheme'ein olam haba hakedusha shenikva b'leiv b'nei Yisrael hu b'chalech ma'yatzer. Everyone has different kedusha in their hearts, right? Kefia roy l'shlosh neshmasei. Everybody has different inclinations. Everyone has different neshama, and therefore the kedusha in everyone's heart is different. U kamoy shakedusha me'ein olam haba. Kain halavushim shaloivesh lekavod oisa kedusha hey me'ein halavushim olam haba. The same way everyone has a different olam haba, and therefore everyone has different Shabbos. And in olam haba, everyone has different garments. What are the garments we have in olam haba? They're made out of the Torah mitzvahs that we accomplish in our lifetime. Sheyadua, there are levushim for the neshamas in olam haba, which is made out of Torah mitzvahs that is made for everybody. And your levushim are not my levushim, because some people in olam haba they have name brand levushim, then some people have basement leftover levushim. Right? So too levushim of Shabbos. Even though on the physical dimension of your Bigdei Shabbos, it looks like everyone's wearing the same uniform. That's true regarding the physical nature of that garment. That this week I'll wear this suit, and next week I'll wear a different suit. We call makam. The spiritual dimension of our Bigdei Shabbos is unique to us. The same way in olam haba, my olam haba is different than your olam haba. My Shabbos is different than your Shabbos. Your begadim and olam are different than someone else's. The spiritual quality of one's Bigdei Shabbos is different than the spiritual quality of someone else's Bigdei Shabbos. And so if Nami tells Rus, put on your garments, that must be referring to a Bigdei Shabbos. So again, we see the special quality, that there's a spiritual quality of Bigdei Shabbos. You put on your suit, it looks like the same old suit, the same old tie. You should know there is a spiritual dimension to the Bigdei Shabbos that you're wearing. The Pri Tzadik writes in Parshas Vayigash, V'hainu, the Bigdei Shabbos are kamei Bigdei Kahuna. Bigdei Shabbos are like the garments of the Kohen. Kamash Shekasav Lavash Bigdei Kahuna Gedoyla. Bigdei Shabbos hayu. Now we know Bigdei Kahuna are worn. That's an interesting thing. The word beged comes from a lashon of boiged, to be treacherous. Because really, begadim are a treachery. They sort of remind us of the sin of Adam Rishon. Before Adam Rishon, the body was pure, and therefore we didn't need to wear garments. So the whole concept of wear garment is a sign of treachery and being a traitor. But Bigdei Kahuna are not so. Bigdei Kahuna are for honor and tiferes, and therefore they're called Bigdei Kodesh. So Bigdei Shabbos are also not a begida. They are signs of covenant. So Bigdei Kahuna mafurash shemachnisin kedusha l'koyin, because we know that a kohen can only do the avodah when he's wearing Bigdei Kahuna. What do we learn from there? Bizman she bigdeyam aleim kunasam aleim. Any kohanim here? Rabbi Rabinowitz HaKohen is a Kohen. And if he can only do that avodah when he's wearing Bigdei Kahuna, he can't do that, means the Bigdei Kahuna infuse Kedusha. Just like the Bigdei Kahuna will infuse Kedusha, when you put on your suit that you got at wherever you bought it, I don't need to know right now, but after you could submit an invoice, then the Bigdei Shabbos are machnes kedusha into a Jew.
It's called Bigdei Shabbos. It should be called the Bush Shabbos, not the Bigdei. Big is called Bigdei Mizbagod. They should call it the Lashon. The Bush Shabbos, the Bush Kavana, a different word.
We could apply for a name change.
I should remind for the.
I hear. The Gemara in Shabbos says, Amar Rav Yehuda Marav, Kachai min Hagish Rav Yehuda Bar Ilahi, Erev Shabbos. Mevi'in loy areva malayin cham. They brought him a bowl full of hot water. V'roichetz panav yadav v'raglav u'misatev. He wrapped himself. V'yoyshev b'stinin hametziyatzin. He wore his linen, beautiful garments. V'doime lemalach Hashem tzvakos. Now, why was he doime to a malach? Because he washed himself. Why was he doime to a malach? Because he learned. He learned the whole week. Why is he now doime lemalach? It's because he's levush habadim. He's wearing the Bigdei Shabbos. He's wearing the Bigdei Shabbos. The Shla HaKadosh writes on the pasuk, "V'chibadatoi shelo yehei malbushcha shel Shabbos kemalbushei chol." We know that Adam Harishayin, when God made him clothing, it says, "Vayas la'adam la'ishtai kasnois oyer," garments of leather. But before Adam sinned, he was wearing kasnois oyer with an aleph, garments of light. In fact, in the Sefer Torah of Rabbi Meir, it says kasnois oyer with an aleph. Yeah? So what do we learn from here? Now, when we wear weekday clothing, we're wearing malbushei chayil, kasnois oyer with an ayin. They're from the Nachash ha'arum. But we need to change your garments. Not this second, but before Shabbos. L'rames aloylam haba. When we change our Shabbos clothing, that is analogous to changing your clothing for olam haba from kasnois ar with an ayin to kasnois ar with an aleph. That means your Bigdei Shabbos literally have a spiritual aura to it.
You have to wear Bigdei Shabbos during the week. I mean, wouldn't it be more?
You really shouldn't. In fact, Mekubalim write that, many people don't do this, that all your clothing for Shabbos should be different. Everything you wear, be it outer clothing, under clothing, but there's a concept. Your Bigdei Shabbos represent the clothing of Olam Haba, kasnois ar with an aleph. So from here we learn, when you wear Shabbos begadim, number one, they are a reflection of your personal connection to Shabbos and your personal Kedusha Shabbos. And that's why when Naomi tells Rus, wear your garments, Chazal know it's talking about Bigdei Shabbos. Number two, your Bigdei Shabbos are similar to Bigdei Kahuna that infuse Kedusha in you. Number three, one resembles a malach like Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai. And further, sure, the Gemara, the Navi says he's levush habadim. And fourth of all, the clothing of Shabbos represent the clothing of Adam Rishon, Kaidem Achet, and represents the Malbushim of Olam Haba. And therefore, Rabbi Avram Shor writes in his Perish on the Berachos HaShachar, from all of these great dimensions of one's Berachos Shabbos, and the Kedusha infuses in a person, and reminds the person of the Levushim of Olam Haba, and it sanctifies and elevates a person like a Kohen. Therefore, on Shabbos, one should have an enhanced Kavana when they say the bracha of Malbish, Arumim, that the Rebbe Shalom gave me special Malbushim today that are unique to my personal experience of Shabbos, that infuse Kedusha in me like Bigdei Kahuna, and are like the kasnois ar of Adam Arisha and Kaidem Achet. Okay, that concludes this segment.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.